Good morning, Rich. We got a big show today. A sad show today, but
Yes,
something that we should
but-
cover.
but first of all, it's New Year's Day,
It is New Year's Day.
and Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy
and
New Year.
the reason we're having this podcast today on the first day of the year is it is the 3-year anniversary of the disappearance of Ana Walshe. And this particular podcast is going to tell all about her and all about her life and how successful she was and from the beginning, and how she immigrated to the United States. And so that's what this podcast is going to be about. It's a celebration of how much she accomplished in the short time of her life before she went missing.
For those of you who don't know, 2 weeks ago, about a week and a half ago, we released a video on the Brian Walsh case. A real local tragedy for this area.
Yeah, it was about the trial and about Brian Walsh and what the situation was in his capers in crime with the ultimate caper that found him incarcerated today.
Yeah. So if you want a little bit of background information, I suggest that you watch that Brian Walsh episode. That'll be linked in the description below, and you can find it on the channel. Watch that and then come back to this because we are honoring the victim in that crime. So, Rich.
Yeah, well, Ana Walshe. Ana Walshe was born Ana Walshe. And she was born in Belgrade, Yugoslavia. Her birth date was April 12th, and that was in 1983. So in Yugoslavia, she went to elementary or primary school and then to high school. And when she graduated from high school, she went to the University of Belgrade and earned her bachelor's degree in French and French literature. And soon after graduation, she immigrated to the United States. Within months after graduation, she immigrated to the United States and came to the Washington area, the Washington, D.C. area, and was about 21 years old at that time and found work at a boutique hotel called the Inn at Little Washington. And Washington, Virginia is approximately 70 miles southwest of Washington, D.C., at the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. And from May of 2005 and it was a seasonal job until the end of September, she was a housekeeping attendant.
Sure.
Making up rooms, making up beds, starting right at the bottom of
building
of her career.
Right.
The next year, she worked at the same location and at the Inn at Little Washington. And I've sent to you in the file a couple of pictures of the little Inn at Washington. It's not like the Comfort Inn in Rockland where you and I work.
Right.
This
Not
is-
at the Comfort Inn, guys. We work in the town.
That's right. I keep
saying that.
I keep alluding
First
to the
we
fact.
work at Home Depot.
Yeah, that's not
Now
right.
we work at the Comfort
No,
Inn.
no.
Where's next?
No. We work in the town of Rockland, which has a Comfort Inn.
Yes.
Okay, so her second year, she worked as a server in the restaurant, 5-star Michelin restaurant associated with the inn. And that's where she got her start in the hospitality business. Now, to give you a little bit of an insight into what the Inn at Little Washington was all about, I'm just going to give you a typical itinerary.
Sure.
Overnight accommodations include a welcome cocktail upon arrival, afternoon tea, continental breakfast, guaranteed dinner reservation, complimentary valet parking, housekeeping services 3 times a day, complimentary Wi-Fi, and if you are going electric, they have both universal electric and Tesla charging.
That's a pretty good lineup.
Yes, it's a
Afternoon tea.
afternoon tea.
I like that.
Yes.
For just a little context, I used to be a truck driver and I drove a day cab and I stopped at all different hotels. And when I was truck driving, I thought about making a YouTube channel on like reviewing hotel breakfast and stuff like that for like truck drivers and like where to stay. And I thought it was a fun idea. Never really accumulated too much, but I ain't never seen one have an afternoon tea. That's interesting. I've never seen that. I like that. It's a good touch.
So, Michelin star restaurant. They also have a cafe called Patio Tools. I'm sorry, Patios.
Patios.
Patios. Cafe.
Kind of like martinis down the street.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Very, very much so. And so it was a fancy place that she was working, and she worked there for over 2 summers, and then went into her next career move, all in the hospitality field. She took courses at Cornell in hospitality management, and so her early days of coming to this country, and you may say, well, how could someone come to this country and get hired in a swanky spot like that? Well, she had one big thing going for her. Anna spoke 5 languages. That's a big plus in the hospitality business.
Yes, it is.
In addition to English, she spoke Spanish, and of course French, because that's what she majored in. And then she spoke 2 of the Slavic languages, Croatian and Serbian.
Sure.
So armed with that, it made her very attractive to somebody looking for somebody in the hospitality field. She moved from the inn in Little Washington to Washington, D.C., and she was the front office operations manager at the Willard Intercontinental Hotel in Washington, D.C. And she did that for over 2 years, and then moved on from there, came to Boston, worked with several hotels in the Boston area. About 2008, she went out to Lenox, Mass, to the Wheatley, which is also a small boutique hotel. And there she met and married a gentleman by the name of Mark Knipp. That's Knipp. He was the sous chef at the Wheatley. And now somebody asked me when I was explaining what's the sous chef? Well, sous chef is second in command. So you have either the executive chef or you have the head chef, and then you have the sous chef, which is second in command.
Yes.
So that is where she met Mark Knipp, and they were married in approximately 2008, 2009, and things didn't work out, and they divorced in early 2014. So she was married about 7 years to him, and not much details of that marriage are known, and I couldn't, in all my research, find out too much information about Mark. And maybe Mark doesn't want, and you can't blame him with the circumstances, he doesn't want any focus on himself. So after the Wheatley, she went on to the Intercontinental Boston Hotel in Boston, and was the director of front office, which is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
She went from there to being rooms manager at the Taj hotels in Boston, and then on to the Newbury Hotel. And it sounds like that's two separate jobs, but it's actually the same job, the same location. The Taj Hotel in Boston reinvented itself and became the Newbury Hotel. And she was director of rooms, and that was from 2019 to 2020. I'll go back just a little bit. In 2016, she married her second husband. And a year later, had a son, her first son. And the pictures that I sent you and that you can put into the video, especially the one of her standing near the Washington Monument, kind of gives you the impression that she was a larger-than-life person.
It really shows that she's proud of, where she is, what she's doing. It shows a sense of American dream. Like, look at,
She did have the American dream and was succeeding.
Yes.
But in reality, Ana was petite. She was 5'2", and she weighed approximately 115 pounds. Mm. That picture of her standing in front of the Washington Monument appears to be a larger, taller person, and that was her persona. That was her. She was that way in real life. She was bigger than real life. Her personality was bigger than the real life. People who worked with her loved her. People who were her friends, it was just incredible. And she got married and soon had a baby, and was still in the hospitality business. As I mentioned, she was at the Willard Hotel, and that was from 2010 to 2012. And she worked other places, and let me get my notes straight. And she was married just before Christmas in 2015. And a year later, she gave birth to her first son. From 2018, from June of 18 to 19, she was again a room manager, Newbury Hotel, and in 2020, she decided, this is after giving birth to her second son. Her oldest was 2 years old when she gave birth to her second son. And she decided on a career change after working at the Newbury for several years. And she got out of the hospitality business and started to work for a company called the Mutlu Group in Boston, which is a real estate firm. Rather than a hospitality business, she was into a real estate firm. And in 2020, she gave birth to a third son. So she had 3 children, and they were 2 years apart. And she became director of operations for the Mutlu Group. And after she left the Mutlu Group, Jem Mutlu, who is the CEO of that group, remained friends with her and her husband. And in fact, he was the last person to see her before she went missing in January of 2023. That would be 3 years ago today. So after the Moodle group, she was there for a couple of years. In February of 2022, she joined Tishman Speyer. And I hadn't heard too much about Tishman Speyer. Again, a real estate company, but not in the realistic way we think about a real estate agent. They're real estate developers is what they are.
So they're working in commercial sector, selling larger commercial grade buildings and infrastructure.
Yeah, for those of our viewers that are in the Boston area who go back a ways in the Boston area, there was a fancy restaurant in Boston that was out on the waterfront called Anthony's Pier 4. And Anthony's Pier 4 was the place to go to. And other parts of the Boston waterfront were rather seedy, but Anthony's Pier 4 was an exclusive restaurant out on the end of Pier 4. And suddenly there was a resurgence back in the 2010, 2015 era of the Boston waterfront. New buildings being built. The location at Anthony's Pier 4 became prime real estate. And that was acquired by Tishman Speyer, the company who Ana later worked for. And they redeveloped that into a major complex in there. And they develop high-rise buildings. They take one of their projects down in the D.C. area was they took a mall that had closed and they redeveloped the mall into a different mixture of use package where there were apartments and things like that. So it's a big company. They have offices in Boston and New York and Washington, D.C., and they even have an office in Brazil. And so Ana went to work for them and became a manager in Washington, D.C. And why Washington, D.C.? Well, she had work experience in Washington, D.C. You know, she worked at the Willard Hotel, and she worked out at the Inn in Little Washington, Virginia. So she had some experience working in Washington, and when this position opened up, she decided to take this. And you've got to realize that now she has 3 children. She's the breadwinner, primary breadwinner in the family. And we'll leave that just like that. We won't explain anything else.
There is some more information on the previous episode.
Yes.
The Brian Walsh episode from like a week and a half ago. So just check that out if you guys want to have more on that. I can't imagine what her daycare bill must have been for three young children. Yeah.
You know?
Well, my girlfriend, Caroline, she's a daycare infant toddler teacher. And I think it's about $500 a week for her facility.
No, and
per child.
And maybe you could get a group rate if you had 3, but even then. So
there are group rates, and there are discounts for like returning families and stuff like that. But still, I mean, how much of a discount are you going to get off $500? You know.
So obviously, Ana Walshe had a good job.
Yes.
And working for Tishman Speyer was a great job, and it was her plan to move the family to Washington. She had acquired a townhouse down there, which she had purchased, and there were some complications for her living down there and not having the family down there. It was her plan to bring the family down there. She decorated her place, her townhouse down there with bedrooms for the 3 sons, and it was It was going to, that was her dream. She had previously owned a home in Cohasset, Mass., which down on Jerusalem Road, which is a fancy end of town. And in Cohasset is kind of a fancy town to begin with. And so they sold their home down on Jerusalem Road and moved to a large home that was a rental in Cohasset, Mass. And that's where she and her family were living when she disappeared. And now Ana has a mother back in Serbia. She also has a sister, Alessandra, and her sister spoke at the sentencing situation after the trial, and gave a very moving explanation of what it's like to lose a sister, but literally lose a sister. She's missing.
Yeah.
She's still missing. And she will probably never be found. She has 3 young children. She was a mother. She was a worker. She was an immigrant who came to this country. She did all the right things, and it cost her. Ultimately, it cost her family. It cost her children. Her sons, and I'm not going to mention any names. It's out there. There were pictures. I'm not going to do that. It's not fair to them to either mention their names or their picture. But they're now, the oldest is 9, and then the next one is 7, and then the youngest one is 5. So basically, 2 of them must be in school now, either public or private. And the third one is probably at 5 years old. I would say he's probably in kindergarten. And what a mess. You've got 3 young children, basically lost both of their parents now.
Yeah.
And the story of Ana will never be forgotten because there is no closure on it. And this is what's so painful about this story. And we wanted to get it out today because today is the 3-year anniversary of Ana's disappearance. This 3 years ago today, she was classified as a missing person. And she's still missing. She probably always will be missing. And that's a difficult situation. It's a difficult situation for me to talk about. And it's a difficult situation, especially for her immediate family.
Yeah.
Especially her 3 sons, who are now growing up without a mom.
Or dad.
Or dad.
Now they're going through the whole, government system, and it's a mess.
Yes, they're in DYS or whatever the procedure is. I'm sure there's probably going to be some settlement on where they're going to go after this part of the situation is over.
Hopefully they had some form of family, like I'm wondering about the aunt, her sister.
Yes, and Ana had friends here in the United States that expressed interest in keeping the 3 boys together.
That's important, especially in a time like this.
Right.
It's extremely important.
And we don't know, the public doesn't really know what the situation is as far as their placement. We don't know if they are together. Hopefully they are. And for confidentiality reasons, the state has not released any information about where they are or what they're doing or if they're together. And that's probably just as well because they need to have some. They need to have some closure, and they're not going to get it, but they need to have some time to process this whole thing.
Yeah.
And they'll be processing it for the rest of their lives. I can't imagine losing both parents, and especially the matter of the loss of their mother, who just was there on the 31st of December and was gone on the 1st.
It's heartbreaking.
It is, and there were some red flags out there, and I can mention that Ana filed a complaint with the Washington D.C. Metro Police about somebody who had threatened her, and
That was 2014, right?
that was 2014, and the name she filed under was Ana Nip, which was her married name with the first husband. And
Has Mark Nip?
yes,
Has Mark spoken out?
no,
He has not. Okay.
no, he has no social presence that anybody can find. He is completely
Off the grid.
off the grid,
Okay.
and maybe that's best for he.
Yeah, I was just curious, like, if he had given some form of a tribute.
No, not that I have. Not that I have.
Talking
heard.
about like her character and stuff.
And
like
of course, when we hear about a police report, it didn't mention anybody's name.
Right. Right.
She said that someone she knew had called and threatened her life and threatened her friend's life, and that this person was back in Boston, and it was done. The threat was done by phone. Later investigation concluded that it was her soon-to-be husband. He was not her husband at that time. That was 2 years before. So a major red flag, but those things happen. And
We're human. What are you going to do, you know?
Exactly. And
Sometimes.
I'm sure she didn't see anything of this violent nature, but it obviously was there.
Yeah, especially like everyone at some point is gonna have something happen, and they're like, "Oh, maybe I shouldn't, do this
Yeah,
or that."
woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Yeah, and it's what, we're all people, and
Right.
hindsight's 20/20
Yeah,
vision.
and sure. And now we have a lot of people look back and say, "Well, she should have known," but you can't really say that because you're not walking in those shoes.
Right.
You're not walking in her shoes.
None of us truly know what was going on.
Right. So we want to express this story about Ana and let everybody know we mentioned when we did the first part that we would do this, and we would do it just in her name and try to keep all of the other things that went on in the last 3 years in the press and on the media. And we sort of would see if we could filter some of that out and talk about her and what a good, solid person, an excellent mom, someone who came from overseas seeking the American dream and tried so hard to get it. And
Was on track.
I'm sorry?
Was on track to get it.
Yes, was on track to get it. And it's sad and it's too bad.
Yeah. I'm thinking once my grandfather clock is done chiming, maybe we do a moment of silence.
Please.
Okay, well, we'll let that finish raining out, and then... All right, so this moment of silence is for Ana. And I want to express that my thoughts and prayers are with her 3 boys, sister, mom, Mark.
Yes.
Everybody who was close to
Everybody
her.
who knew and loved her friends who knew her, her
Yeah.
co-workers that knew her, and especially her family, her mom, her sister, and her 3 sons.
Exactly. But with that, is there anything else that we should go over?
Yeah, probably we should recap what we did on last Sunday was our interview about Richard Ramirez. And we had Eli Frankel out in California, and I hope he's doing fine because the weather out there has been really atrocious.
Yes.
He was sitting in his backyard in the sunshine
Yep.
when we did that, and then they had a lot of rain and a lot of other things going out in California. So that was an interesting segment because you and I had done Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, several weeks ago. And Eli was able to give us some really on-the-ground, boots-on-the-ground indications of who he's talked to, some of the police officers involved, and I heard things that I never knew about.
Same.
I did not realize that Richard Ramirez was a San Fran guy. The indications are that he was always in Los Angeles, and that wasn't the case. Los Angeles is where he went to do his crimes.
Yeah.
San Francisco.
So he just went to work in Los Angeles and went home to San Francisco.
That's right, and he did. He lived in San Francisco, and he loved the city, and he did some crimes in San Francisco, but he was never caught in San Francisco. But it was the San Francisco police that put things together.
Yeah.
That finally led to his capture and ultimate incarceration for, we know of at least,
What was it, 13?
well, he was convicted of 13, but we know there was Miley, who was the first victim, a 9-year-old, that was connected years later through DNA
Yeah.
that he brutally murdered. And then we had the Pan couple up in San Francisco that he robbed and assaulted and killed. And so there is 16, and there's countless victims that he didn't kill that survived
The carjacking,
the
attacks,
carjacking
yeah.
and the houses and all of the things. And he was sentenced to death. And as Eli was saying the other day, that he had bad breath, and all of those things. Yet that persona changed when he was in court. He became Joe Hollywood in court. The dark glasses and the.
They do that strategically to make them look more educated, sophisticated, intelligent,
And less guilty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go in there with face tattoos and bald head and all this other stuff,
And the pentagram.
and the pentagram on the hand too. I mean, how can you get past that? It's just. But that was a great episode. Eli is a fantastic storyteller,
And he's coming back.
Yep, he'll be back on. So right now it's New Year's.
Yes.
And then Eli will be back on Sunday for part 2 of the Night Stalker episode. It'll be a bit of a shorter episode, just kind of to recap it. But I figured that 2 episodes would do it correctly. And then I'll bunch them together, and there will be a released version later on that night or so that has everything, the whole episode together. Right. So
Will it have our first episode about that?
Yeah, I could probably do. Yeah, I think so. I could probably do a 3-part episode with Eli.
So what do we got in the future?
So we're working on some side projects right now. I'm not going to disclose anything because nothing's set in stone yet, but with some other channels, which is pretty cool that we might work together on. I really want to cover Jack the Ripper. You know, we got Zodiac. Black Box was super down to talk with us about Jack the Ripper. I'm in contact with another author on a Black Dahlia case, so there might be some more Black Dahlia content coming out pretty soon. We got a lot of stuff that right now is in the beginning stages of production. So hopefully within a month, a lot of that will materialize into actual video content that we can produce.
Yeah, and I've been going through some of the comments, and people are offering some suggestions,
Yep.
and I'm going to add them to our list.
Absolutely.
And
we keep adding to that document faster than we're subtracting from that
Exactly.
document, which is good because guess what? That creates more content for us. So every time one of you guys creates a suggestion in our email, on the website, Instagram, Twitter, DMs, whatever they are, X, or YouTube comments, it gets, Rich and I both have access to a document that we type the suggestion into, and then that goes into our topics list that we'll talk about and we'll cover. So we have content probably for the next year already.
Yeah,
so.
we do have something going, and we talked about this last week on the Missy Beavers.
Bevers, yeah.
Yeah, and
I was going to ask you about that. What's
and we're
the
going
status?
to have. We're in holiday hiatus right now.
Yeah.
And won't be back until the 5th. And we're going to have a certified psychologist take a look at the video of the crime scene with the supposed perpetrator, and we're going to get somebody to analyze what they see. I haven't told him what the case is. I haven't showed him the video. I want him to do it cold. I don't want to give him some clues about what he's going to see and things like that, because that might possibly throw in some type of bias or something like that. So I'm going to show him that when we get back to work on or about, not about, on the 5th. So the week of the 5th, I'm going to run that by him and see what his and see if he's interested in joining us for.
We should set up a meeting or something that the three of us just go to your room or whatever it is.
Well, we could either do that. We could either do it here, or we could Zoom him, or something like that. And
yeah, I mean, he's local, so I think on camera would be great. But if he feels more comfortable during Zoom, that's totally fine as well. The cameras never blink, and eventually you get used to it. But for newcomers, it's a little scary, you know.
Well, Zoom can be scary
for
some of our guests, and as you know, I taught at Massasoit Community College. And during COVID, I had to get certified to teach in Zoom, and some people are terrified. When I say some people, I'm talking about my students. Some do not like to leave the camera on, and some schools require that. I didn't, because I feel like if you don't want me to be in your presence, in your spot, then you can just shut your camera off and it shows the name.
Yeah.
Interesting story. I was looking around the room of my computer and all of these little pictures of people who were in a Zoom class, and one of them looked really strange. So I hit that one to blow it up, and it was a cat watching my math class. He was literally taking the math class, and I thought it was a picture of a cat that somebody put on there, but he blinked.
My God!
And he was.
Someone just had their cat up in front of their
camera.
camera?
No, someone left the screen, and the cat got up on the computer and was looking, and he did pretty well. He
pass?
He wasn't perfect.
Oh, there you go.
But
I had to have seen that coming. How did I not?
But he did pretty well.
Yeah, so we got some really cool episodes coming up. Jack the Ripper, we got to do. My friend David's going to send me some new artwork for that episode. He's doing a commissioned piece for me right now, so that'll be displayed as well as the Jack the Ripper special he's doing.
Well, it's been an exciting year for us.
Oh, this year has been so cool.
Yeah, we started on...
It was April 27th when we launched the first episode.
Right, so we really, you can call that May 1st.
Yeah.
And so it's been from then until now, that's a total of...
was that 8 months?
Yeah, 7 months. And we've gone from several followers, several subscribers to we just passed 11,000.
So cool.
And you've made a commitment. I heard it. I was right here.
Yep, can't go back on my word.
Nope. You said we need to get 20,000 subscribers by May 1st.
Yeah.
And if that happens...
I'll get a Lizzie Borden tattoo. Now, not like a portrait, but I got some cool ideas. But it'll be Lizzie Borden themed, I swear to God. And I'll live stream it.
You're going to live stream getting the tattoo. I'll wear a face mask for that, But
Yeah, you don't have to.
Safety first.
It's all good. I've had people in the tattoo booth with me before. It's no big deal.
Well, I've never seen a tattoo put on, so...
You've never done it? You've never seen one?
No, never saw anybody get a tattoo.
Oh, they're long. They take forever.
I'm even willing to pay for yours to see it.
They're expensive. But they're expensive and they take forever. But I promise I'll be easy on it.
All right, thanks.
But, yeah, that's if we get it,
thumbnail size?
Yeah, right? Literally. Postage stamp.
Right.
But yeah, no, we'll do it. We'll be doing it right too, which is pretty cool. I got a couple shops in mind for it. But yeah, so I just heard back from the clothing company too. So I think pretty soon, give it a couple of weeks, and we'll probably have some merchandise. Probably like 5 or 6 sweatshirts for sale if anyone's interested. But that'll be coming future, not right now though. And then Jack the Ripper, Zodiac, all that type of fun stuff will be coming up. As well as collaborations with other channels. We got a lot for the new year. We've kind of had a little bit of a break in December where we've done some smaller content, but we just launched the Eli thing too, which was a pretty big episode as well. So December was kind of a little bit more relaxed, but going into the new year, we're going to hit it head on strong and really crush that 20,000 subscriber goal.
That's what we're looking for, and thank you very much, everybody. And we want to wish you and yours a Happy New Year.
Absolutely, yeah. Happy New Year, everybody.
2026.
Absolutely. To the Ana Walshe family, my thoughts and prayers are with you. And it's just a horrible story, but our thoughts and prayers are with you. And
yes, and thank you all very much.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe. This upcoming Sunday is Night Stalker, and Sunday evening I will be doing a live stream coffee hour. Come hang out with me for an hour to 2 hours. In the live stream, ask me questions. It's an AMA, Q&A, ask me anything, questions and answers. And we're just going to have fun. And with that, I think we're going to close this episode out.
That's it. Thank you very much, everybody.
Bye, guys. Have a good one.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.